And I dare say that my next two guests have a bit of a spirit of adventure in themselves as well, because as part of our Do You Know Townsville segment, where we catch up with very interesting groups around the community each Thursday, this morning it's my pleasure to let you know about the Harley Owners Group in Townsville, the Townsville chapter of this very passionate group. And this morning we've got both Rick Guerra and Marty Brewster, who've come in decked out, I must say, in their outfits, looking pretty good. Welcome, guys. How are you?
Yeah, good.
You got the vests on.
Michael, great to be here. Great to meet you.
It's great to have you in as well. We should point out, you know, the weather being what it is, couldn't bring the Harleys in this morning along the street, but that's
bit
okay.
Loud for the microphones.
Next time, maybe. How long have you been riding?
Oh, well, a bit of a midlife crisis, I suppose. I had motorbikes as a young kid and into my early adult life, and got married and had my motorbike sold by my brother, and didn't really get back into it till about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
One of the chaps I was working with the Harley Owner Group introduced me to them, and I talked to the wife and allowed me to get a motorbike. And
Did you
and
talk
it's
to your
history
wife?
now.
Did you talk to your wife?
3 motorbikes later, I'm still there and enjoying it, going on great adventures. And we just came back from a Darwin trip a couple of months ago, and that was quite a long trip. And the wife said, "Have you got your long trip out of your system now?" And I said, "It's just a start."
Just to start, exactly. Well, not just a part of the group, you're the secretary of the Townsville chapter, life member as well, so really important stuff. What about you, Rick? When did this love begin?
17 years ago. My wife didn't know about it. She gave me a fistful of money and said, "Go and buy a black Ford Territory," and I come home with a Harley.
No way.
Yeah, it wasn't even black. She did not like it, and she still doesn't to this day.
But you're still married, so that's pretty
just
special.
Kicked 40 years past. I did what everyone does. Gave her 2 weeks off. I went to Darwin for our anniversary. So
I think we've got more discussions to have about happy marriages with you for the next time. But that's great. What a passion and what a long story. Now, there are motorcycles and there are Harleys. What makes a Harley Davidson so special?
Well, I think it's just the history. I mean, I've had the pleasure of going to America. I've toured the museum, and I actually was associated with one of the blokes who was part of the design team over there. Worked with Willie G for 20 years, and to see how it evolved, I've sat on the number one Harley, which number one motor. 3 frames, because they break 3 frames before they got it to work, because they start off building push bikes. And it was just amazing. Like, it opens up a whole new world for me. Like, it's anywhere I go in the world, we can jump in with a group, because there's, last count, I think 1.4 million of us around the world. And it's just a big family. Like, I spent 6 weeks riding around America on a Harley, and it's just, once they see you're Aussie,
It's the bikes as well.
Well, I was going to ask that too.
And the
yeah.
look and there's that many Harleys around. You're lucky to find 2 that are the same. They're so customisable. But as a part of the chapter, we go on our rides, and we generally do 1 or 2 a month. We have a weekend away, maybe every 2 or 3 months. But being in a group of motorbikes heading off to a location for lunch or something, there's nothing like it. Wind in your hair, the big roar of the bikes, and the Harleys, of course, are big engined. And they've got a lot of tow, a lot of pickup, and it's just fantastic feeling to ride.
Are they just a pleasure? I've never sat on one, so they're a pleasure just to sit there and ride.
They are, especially on a trip. They're a little bit heavy. To give you an idea, you're looking at, for the cruisers, they're like 400 kilos just about. 350 to 400 is about general weight. About 320 might be about the lightest. So you get beyond that centre of gravity, it's a bit hard to hold them up. But when you're riding them at 100 k's an hour, it's just nothing like it. It's unbelievable.
Is that in the
very
60s,
easy.
eh?
And you can, any big cruise like I've got, you've got cruise control and stereo and Bluetooth and all that sort of thing.
Oh wow! Oh, so you got all the mod cods. It's
right.
a long way
ABS
from
brakes.
long way from Easy Rider, maybe. But with these sorts of passions, as you say, it's nice to have them shared. How many members in the Townsville chapter?
At the moment, we've got 70 active members, and about 20 that haven't renewed from last year. We've struggled a little bit over COVID, and Rick was going to talk about that, where we weren't able to get out and about, and our numbers sort of dwindled a bit there. try and encourage them back.
The
Yeah,
COVID
come on
thing
back.
affected everyone. I think everyone's altered the way they live. They don't associate with groups. They, make do with their own with their own company, and it's just starting to come out. The Darwin run was the first one we've had since COVID lifted, and people come from Adelaide, West Australia, all met in Darwin, and people couldn't understand the phenomenon. They said, "Why is everyone out and about?" And I said, "Well, 2 years we've been locked in our house." So,
And you've got a Cairns ride coming up, have you?
Yes, in the long weekend in October to celebrate their 30th anniversary.
Great. So for people, if they want to come to be a part of that, what do they need to do if they want to be, if they're Harley lovers out there, they'll be listening. If they want to be a part of your group.
Well, if you buy a Harley Davidson brand new, you're automatically an international member. And to join a hog chapter, you need to be an international member.
Oh, wow.
Now, you could buy a second-hand Harley, you can go online, you can join as an international hog member, and that then allows you to join a local chapter. But you need to be an international member first. And once you join, and what I enjoy about our group is got like-minded people. We'd like to get a few younger people. Mm-hmm. So you've been there 70. You were probably middle-aged when you started. I'm quite young, but
dream on.
But getting together, so it's not just all about the riding; it's the social activity as well. And we're such a great group of people that we get together. We get together every Friday night, and on a Saturday morning, typically run a barbecue down the Harley Davidson shop there on a Saturday morning. And people can come and talk to us there. We have our membership officer, and it's just a simple email to our membership officer if you do have a Harley and interested in joining. And can I give you his email address?
Well, pass it on, and we can pass it on if people give us
Sure.
a call, because another good way that people can find out more is by getting in touch, of course, with the Townsville Community Information Centre in Flinders Street, and we can pass on all those details. Gents, it's lovely to have you both in. There's so much more we can discuss, but we're running out of time, unfortunately.
Can I take you for a ride, Michael?
Well, exactly. We could even do the show on the road one day. I'd need a bit of a booster seat, I think.
Not necessarily.
Well, right.
But as you said, and this I think is a really important message, if people have been part of the group, you're back, you're doing your rides, and come along and be a part of the
fun, yeah.
outdoor activities.
And it's really, you commit to what you're able to. There's no real pressure that you have to attend. It's just a more social activity for
I think we're all like-minded. Like as Marty said, we're getting on a little bit in age, so we're pretty established, and we just like going out, seeing the world, and having fun, and enjoying the machines we're on. I think.
Well, we do appreciate that.
Grow our young ranks. We've got a couple of young good people here. Yeah.
Thanks so much for coming in to both of you, Rick and Marty. We wish you all the very best with your work.
Thank you, Michael.
And I dare say that my next two guests have a bit of a spirit of adventure in themselves as well, because as part of our Do You Know Townsville segment, where we catch up with very interesting groups around the community each Thursday, this morning it's my pleasure to let you know about the Harley Owners Group in Townsville, the Townsville chapter of this very passionate group. And this morning we've got both Rick Guerra and Marty Brewster, who've come in decked out, I must say, in their outfits, looking pretty good. Welcome, guys. How are you?
Yeah, good.
You got the vests
Great,
on.
thanks. Michael, great to be here. Great to meet you.
It's great to have you in as well. We should point out, you know, the weather being what it is, couldn't bring the Harleys in this morning along the street, but that's
bit
okay.
loud for the microphones. I
Next time, maybe. How long have you been riding?
think. Oh, well, a bit of a midlife crisis, I suppose. I had motorbikes as a young kid and into my early adult life, and got married and had my motorbike sold by my brother, and didn't really get back into it till about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
One of the chaps I was working with the Harley Owner Group introduced me to them, and I talked to the wife and allowed me to get a motorbike, and
Do you
and
talk
it's
to your
just turned
wife?